What's happening, guys? It's Big Cat Outdoors. Sorry I had to get a spitter. I'm in my storage unit and I'm organizing it because I've done a lot of fishing the last week and a half, 2 weeks really. Done a lot of fishing. Had the big bass splash. I was up here out of Dayton. I fished it for 3 days. I fished Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I had a bass tournament, a club tournament on Sunday, so I wasn't going to fish the big bass splash. I've never been able to fish that big bass splash before, so I thought, I'll jump in it. I've got the time to do so, why not? Cool format. I like how you had to look at the leaderboard, and the live leaderboard and see when you wanted to weigh your fish in and stuff. Big fish have been hard to come by for me. I've caught a lot of 2.5 to 3.5 pounders. The 4+s have been really hard for me. Catching plenty of fish, but I knew catching a big fish was going to be tough. I'm not a deep fisherman. Y'all have seen my boat. If you haven't, I fish out of a 1648 flat bottom with a 40 horsepower mud motor. There ain't a graph on that thing. It's an 80-pound 4-trax. I've got an app on my phone that I use to do a little bit of mapping if I want to fish something offshore, but for the most part, I'm fishing grass, fishing stuff I can visually see with my eyes. I did want to show y'all this. I did weigh in one big fish. I won 175 bucks. Weighed 442. So I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but weighed 442. And that was on Thursday. That was the first day of the thing. What was kind of funny about that was I overslept my alarm. It was just going to be me and my boat. Overslept my alarm. First cast was at 6 a.m. I didn't even drop the boat in the water until 8. So I literally rolled up Chester Frost, dropped the boat in the water. I'd been catching some in that duckweed, that shallow grass, the water's full pool now, the duckweed started to come up. Usually you can catch some big ones on a weightless Senko thrown in that duckweed. If you're just patient, hit enough duckweed patches, you'll catch a 4+. Put my boat in. It had stormed the night before. Put my boat in, ran to a little pocket that I've caught plenty of big ones out of before. Started throwing a Senko. And caught 4 or 5 just like that, but they were like 12 inchers. And there was like 30 boats in the back of the park fishing. Because it's got good grass this year. Totally understand it. Honestly, the fishing was better back in February and March than it is now back there, but that's another story. Caught 4 or 5, but they were all 12, 14 inchers, and the water was muddied up a lot from the storm, I think, the night before. I just had a gut feeling, was like, let's bounce out of here. I need to get away from this pressure. I don't like fishing around people. If I see somebody in an area, I don't even go in there. I hate fishing around people. I'm not that offshore guy that butts up to you or tries to come in on you. If people come in on me, I will leave. Like, I do not fish around people. It pisses me off when I'm there first and people try to come in on me. I'm like, dude, I already have a depth finder. Like, go somewhere. Ran out of Chester Frost and was like, let's go fish May Lake Point. It's getting hot. It was 80-something degrees that day. Like I said, I put the boat in at 8 o'clock. By now it's 9 o'clock. I was like, let's go hit a point, a Main Lake Point. Pulled up there, was throwing a rage bug, and I'll show all my setups and stuff at the end of the video. Was throwing a watermelon red 4-inch rage bug. Third cast on this point. And I found fish on this point 2 weeks prior. Fish pulling out of spawning pockets. And it had been, you could tell fish had been moving through there, and there had been fish setting up on this point every day. Pulled up to this point, nobody was there, nobody was around me. About 9 o'clock, I pull up on this point. Watermelon rage bug, 4/0 hook, 1/4 ounce weight. I'm probably sitting in 7-8 foot of water, throwing up on this rocky point, just dragging it. Third cast in, threw it out there, and I think I started slowly reeling it, hitting that good gravel and that good rock, and never felt her bite, and it just loaded up, just got heavy, and I reeled down, and I set the hook, and I knew it was a big one as soon as I set the hook because she didn't move. And I'm throwing a 735 Dobbins. Fury series, I believe. I'll check that here in a minute. set the hook, no net. I don't bring a net in the boat unless I've got a partner. Get back, lift the fish. I was like, well, that's a 4.5, 4 3/4. Throw it in the live well. The GoPro is actually sitting on my live well. This is legit my live well. Is a cooler. I think y'all will probably enjoy this. This is what I use for tournaments. It's a legit 120 quart Coleman, PVC up at the top. I think it's a 750 gallon per hour bilge pump, and then I fill it up with the bucket. Never lost a fish. Everything, for the people think that my fish will die in there. That's bigger than most live wells in your bass boats. And that bilge pump pumps good. And I put G-juice and ice and that whole deal in there, so you ain't gotta worry about fish dying. I've never lost a fish in that thing. So unhooked the fish, threw it in there, filled it up with water, hooked the battery up. I keep a battery in the boat for it. Hooked the battery up. It was running. By this point, it's like 9:30, 9:45. Also keep this in mind. The tournaments, the weigh-in stuff's in Dayton. I'm in a 1648 mud boat, 4 horsepower mud motor. I've got a 6-gallon gas tank. And it's good on gas, but I can't run to Dayton. It would take me 2 hours to get to Dayton and I caught that fish in Harrison Bay. I can't run to Dayton. So I knew I was gonna have to trailer it and drive it up there. And I actually texted Big Bass Place. They've got a number you can text. I actually texted the number to make sure it was okay for me to trailer it. Because if not, then I would have ran it. It would just take me a long time. So now I'm thinking, okay, it'll take me a 45-minute drive up there. What hour do I want to weigh this fish? You know, do I try to catch another big one? Do I go ahead and trailer it and drive it up there? What do I do? Looked at the live leaderboard and I was like, weights look pretty steep, or look pretty stout right now. So I was like, let's get in the afternoon. So I was like, well, I'll just put it on the trailer at noon. So I was like, well, I'll fish for 2 more hours. So then I fished the point. I catch one right after that big and caught a 2-pounder. Didn't get any more bites. Two bass boats roll up on me while I was fishing the point, because every time I see a flat bottom, they think I'm crappie fishing, I guess. Talked to them. One was from New York, blah, 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 whatever. We talked a little bit. Nice guy. I left there, flipped some docks, caught them flipping docks, no big ones, 2-pounders. And then it was getting around that noon time, and a lot of freaking boats were in Chester Frost and Harrison Bay. I'm talking a freaking pile of them. So I was like, put on a trailer, drove to Dayton. I got up to Dayton at like 12:40. Walked up there, checking the live leaderboard, live well running the whole time, trying to figure out when I want to weigh this fish. Do I want to wait in the 12 to 1 o'clock hour, 1 to 2? I will even wait to 2 to 3 if I have to. Get up there, looked at the live leaderboard. I was like 12 to 1. I'm going to wait till 1 o'clock. I'm going to wait till the 1 to 2 hour. Waited to the 1 to 2 hour, weighed my fish. I got 7th place in the hour. I'm glad I waited. I won $175. Awesome. Boom, got it. I was like, well, this ain't nothing. You know, caught me a 4-pounder. I literally fished for, 3 hours? Maybe 3.5 before I trailered it. So I was like, 2 more days of this. Hell, if I just catch 4.5-pounder, 4-pounder for 2 more days, I make some money. It did not work like that. Maybe I should have slept in every day, honestly. Friday, was on time, put the boat in early, ran to my starting spot, blah, blah, and was fishing with my girlfriend. My girlfriend actually signed up for Friday and Saturday, so she was fishing with me in my boat. And we caught so many freaking fish. I mean, we counted. Friday we caught 21, and I was flipping a rage bug. I actually had to change colors. We started in a creek that I've caught some big ones in the past. I actually caught a 6.5-pounder there back in August and hadn't been there since last August. Went in there, and this was, I put in at Saudi Creek and ran north. And I was like, well, I'm gonna stay north and fish a bunch of small pockets that I don't think are getting the pressure. Try to get away from people, because there was just way too much pressure, Chester Frost, Harrison Bay. I just didn't want to deal with it. And we caught 11 in the first creek we were in. Caught some nice fish, some 3-pounders, but 3-pounders ain't gonna get you paid in this deal in Chickamauga. Ran out of there, hit some other stuff, hit Sail Creek, caught them in Sail Creek, caught them in different pockets. Every pocket we went into or flipped docks, we caught them. I caught them flipping trees, flipping grass, flipping docks, fishing points. We caught them literally, and everything was on one bait, 4-inch raised bug. But the water was murky, and it was raining on Friday too. Water was murky, had some stain in it. So I went from watermelon red to black and blue, and dude, that black and blue, I flipped it all day Friday, from daylight until dark. Well, not dark, till 3 o'clock, I couldn't fish anymore, till 3 o'clock. And they were eating it. Like, I'm freaking eating it. Caught 21 Friday. Saturday comes around, put the boat in, and I went from Soddy Creek to probably Lakeside. I stayed in that zone. Caught 23 Saturday, never caught one over 3.5 pounds. Like, our biggest fish was 3.5 pounds for both days. And caught a ton of fish. Like, caught 23. Tons of 2.5 to 3 pounds fish. So that health class is really healthy. But it seems like we're missing, at least maybe I'm not in the right area of the lake, but it's like we're missing that age class of big fish, which I think Chickamauga is in a down cycle right now, which is natural for any good lake. I think those big fish we had back when I was growing up and a little bit younger a couple years ago, they just got old and died. And now we're kind of missing that age class of those giants. They're still there. I caught a 4-pounder yesterday fun fishing. They're still there, but I think we're in a little bit of a cycle, and there's a very healthy 2.5 to 3.5 class. Comment below if you're seeing something different, but there is a very good healthy class of 3-pounders, like very healthy. Those suckers are beautiful. Caught the piss out of them. I think the big ones were mostly caught. Main Lake points, kind of like how I caught mine. It's just hard for me to do that with a bunch of boats fishing the same stuff I am when I ain't got no depth finder. I don't have spot lock or anything like that. So I fish shallow mostly and stuff I can see visually. Usually you can catch big ones out of that duckweed this time of year. It just seemed like it was behind. That duckweed was behind schedule, and they weren't there. Fact of the matter. I've been catching them a little bit deeper in that 7-8 foot range. I even caught some down to 12 to 15 on some river channel bars and off the edges of the river channel and stuff. So like, I could tell they were a little bit deeper, and I was catching them flipping deeper docks and stuff like that. I did catch some in spawning pockets, but you could tell that was a dying deal. Unless maybe you were on the north end of the lake, maybe around Sail Creek, Dayton, maybe above Dayton, and maybe found some spawning fish farther north. I know middle of the lake and south, they usually spawn earlier, which that's usually where I mainly fish, and I knew most of them were done spawning. Catching mostly post spawners. Beautiful. But yeah, I caught a ton of fish, had a blast. This is kind of a freak ordeal, and this is why the video is kind of late being posted. Like I said, I fished big bass splash Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Was fishing a tournament with my dad Sunday, so I was going to spend the night at his house. Saturday night, we were going to wake up, fish out of his boat for our Dream Chasers club tournament we always fish. Apparently my electrolytes got messed up from fishing 3 days. I keep a cooler iced down with waters and stuff in it. But I was only eating pretty much one meal a day. I was eating when I got off the water and drinking a lot of water, and I didn't have enough electrolytes in me. Got to my parents' house Saturday night, rigged my rods with my dad, talked to my dad. One of my dad's buddies come over, talked, had a good time, rigged rods. Me and Dad got the boat ready for the next morning. I took a shower, went to bed. Woke up at 11:30, 11:45, stomach cramping. Got up to go to the bathroom, and it was a weird cramp. It wasn't a normal cramp. It was hurting, pain. And I usually tolerate pain pretty well, and this was bad. Walked up, got to the bathroom, sat down on the toilet, and blacked out. Fell out. My dad heard me hit. I fell off the toilet and I hit the bathtub. Bathtub or door frame, I don't know exactly. But I've got a cut on my head, if you can see it. It's right there. I think it might have been the door frame that cut it. But fell. My dad heard me hit, yelled, and I couldn't open my eyes. And he said, "Hunter, are you okay?" And I said, "No, come here." By that time, I'm blacked out laying on the floor. Mom called the EMT. EMTs showed up. Thank God to them. They showed up like within 2 minutes, my mom said. EMTs got there. Took 4 men to get me up on a stretcher, get me out of the house. My blood pressure was 50/30. I was sweating profusely. I was in and out, couldn't talk. Speech was slurred. I'd come up, be able to say a few things slurred. You'd ask me a question, I couldn't talk to you, I would try to. My brain was saying it, but my mouth wasn't. I'd black back out. They put me in the ambulance because they told my dad told me this, they said, we're going in hot to the hospital, his blood pressure's 50/30, don't try to follow us. Took me to the hospital, I came to a couple times in the ambulance, and the EMT was kind of shocked because he thought I'd been drinking or took a drug or something. So he's asking, hey, have you drank anything? Have you taken anything? Blah, blah. And I said, no, I just went fishing, blacked back out. Got to the hospital, put me on that. I woke up, had an IV in me, potassium drip going, blah, blah. And I came to. Electrolytes got jacked up. So please, guys, in this heat, I run 5Ks. I just ran 4 miles a minute ago. Like, I run 3 or 4 5Ks a week. Like, I train, I work out all the time. It doesn't matter how in shape you are. If your electrolytes get messed up, you're going down. I didn't think it could happen to me. I drink plenty of water. It happened to me. Apparently, I didn't have enough sodium in my body. And I blacked out. Body just said 3 days of fishing in the heat, which really it was hot Thursday and Saturday. Friday it was raining. Apparently, I didn't have enough sodium in my body and electrolytes. I blacked out. I eat healthy, don't know what happened. Just electrolytes bottomed out, blood pressure bottomed out, electrolytes, and I was done. Went to the hospital. So Sunday I did not get to fish, which I felt bad for my dad because I was on him. And we were going to catch, I don't know if we'd have caught any big ones, but we'd have caught 20 or 30 fish. So now I'm back to fishing. I took 3 or 4 days off, obviously, to try to feel better. Try to get back feeling better. Now I've started working out and running again. I ran 3.5 miles today, so doing better, but that was kind of scary. But now let me show you the setup of what I was throwing. Okay. All right, I'm gonna start off with here. This is not the bait I was throwing. I wish I had one of those. I'll tell you the bait. So this was the 30, I was throwing a 735C. It's a Dobbins Fury series. This is what I was throwing on the beaver. 17-pound test. I always like to throw heavy line. I'm not a light line guy unless I'm throwing a spinning rod. Just a straight 1/4 ounce tungsten, 4-aught, Gamakatsu. I like throwing the, what's it called? Superline series. So that's a 4-aught Superline. And then it was a 4-inch Rage Bug. And either watermelon red is what I caught the big one on Thursday. Water was clear. I went black and blue Friday and Saturday. I went through like 5 packs of black and blue Friday and Saturday. Caught the piss out of them on it. Did catch some fish on this last night though, and that's a secret lure. That's a Lake Fork Lures hyperworm. Not many people throw that up on Lake Chickamauga. That's one of my favorites. Did catch some fish on that last night. Caught a 4-pounder. 2 days ago I caught a 4.5-pounder. Strike King bullworm, June bug. And it's salted heavy. This worm is a heavy worm. That's a 1/8 ounce weight and a 5-aught Superline, 17-pound test. And this is actually one of Gerald Swindle's rods. This is a Meta 7.3 heavy fast. Caught a 4.5-pounder on that. I think right now they're starting to transition. They were on that beaver really freaking good last week. During that big bass splash, it seemed like they wanted that profile really heavy, And then now I think they're starting to get into that bigger bait, slower fall. They're in that little funk, it seems like, right now. Because the beaver bite, you can tell the fish are moving. They were in a little bit of a funk. We had to run some water this week to catch some fish. Today's Thursday, I fished Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I've had to cover some water, and then you'll run into a pocket and boom, catch 4 or 5 good ones, and then hit 2 more, 3 more creeks and I get a bite. So they're definitely moving a lot more than they were last week. They were everywhere, it seemed like last week. The bullworm, I like throwing that on that 1/8 ounce weight. The worm falls kind of like a Cinco. It's a heavier worm. And that 1/8, it gives it a little bit slower fall. Well, every time, most of the time, they're gonna hit it on the fall. Sometimes you will drag it in the grass and they'll eat it. But man, if you throw it on a good ledge or grass line or something, most of the time they eat on the fall. That 4-pounder I caught ate it on the fall in like 2 foot of water on a bluegill bed. I am starting to see some bluegill spawning, but not as, I can tell the majority of the bluegill I haven't seen up on bed yet, but I have seen some of them big bluegill and shell crackers on bed and caught some bass on them. My Cinco setup, this is, I believe this is 8-pound test braid. 8-pound test braid to a 17-pound fluorocarbon leader. And that's a 3/0 owner offset worm hook. And that's what I throw for the 5-inch Cincos. I'm gonna see if I can get a pack of those rage bugs. Because those rage bugs have been awesome for me. Yeah, this is what I caught the biggin on. Hopefully you can see that. That's what I caught the biggin on Thursday. This is the exact same pack. Watermelon red, rage bug, 4-inch, 4/0, superline, gamakatsu, and heavy, or just, I mean, he smoked it. What I really like about these Strike King products, these plastics, is they're salted really good, but the biggest thing is they've got the freaking coffee scent, dude. That coffee scent just gives you a little bit edge over people. I caught fish. I mean, there was so many boats on the lake on this big bass splash tournament. I mean, there was 250 applicants. I saw on their website. By April, it was like April 5th, 4th or 5th, there was already 250 applicants signed up for the big bass splash. And that was for people fishing at least 3 days. So you can only imagine what people just jumped into it and fished a day. Like, there was boats freaking everywhere. And I was going behind people, flipping docks and fishing points and catching the pee out of them. So I think that coffee scent just gives you a little bit of advantage. It looks like a freaking bluegill. And honestly, the black and blue, I thought maybe that would have been like the crawfish were molten kind of in that color, and maybe that's why they were biting it so good. That's a theory of mine. I don't really know. The June bug worm, the June bug bullworm working too. So I don't know if it's the crawfish molten that way. Bluegill definitely don't look like that. But they were freaking choking it. And I'm still catching them on that color. And now we're catching them on Okeechobee Crawl, which is blue and green. So I don't know if that's, it could be bluegill, could be crawfish, whatever. Just my theories. But that was my setups. Man, caught a pile of fish. I'm actually fishing the Friday night out of Harrison Bay tonight. Yeah, it is Friday night. Yeah, fishing the Harrison Bay, 8 to 2 a.m. tonight. And practiced for it last night. We'll see. I got a few spots holding fish, but the storm's coming in. I don't know if you can hear the thunder. It's thundering right now outside. But me and my buddy Matt's going fishing. Hopefully we can put 30 biggins in the cooler. Call it a day. I hope y'all like the information I gave you. I'm kind of telling you what I see in my experiences. If you see something different or something's working better for you, feel free to comment. Let me know if you like this kind of deal. This is the longest one I've done just because a lot's happened. Do you like the longer one? Do you like the shorter one? You kind of tell me. I listen to the comments. I don't get that many comments because I don't have that many followers, but you know, I want to interact, and if you can tell me something that would make this better, let me know. If there's something you don't like, let me know. I'll take some criticism. I played college baseball, trust me. I got yelled at plenty of times. It ain't gonna hurt my feelings. But hopefully you like the information I gave you. Hopefully it helps all the average Joes out there, you know, helps y'all out to catch some more fish. If you have questions, I mean, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, HMercer27 is my Instagram. Feel free to DM me, Hunter Mercer, if you look me up on Facebook, I guess. And I mean, feel free to message me, comment on YouTube page. If you got questions, I mean, I'll feel free to answer them and help everybody out. I'm just a normal guy that likes to bass fish. But hopefully y'all like everything and have a good one. Happy Friday.